Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, and as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are here with Revendread. Now, we're going to start with the skill. First of all, this is a ritual archetype, so we are playing two different variants of this deck, one with Master of Rites 1, or Master of Rites, and one with Master of Rites 2. So, I'm going to show you the one with 2 first, as I think that that's the more basic one, and the one that most people have played and do indeed enjoy. And then I'm going to show you 1. Now, first of all, this is a zombie ritual archetype. Zombie-type archetypes tend to focus heavily around the graveyard, and ritual archetypes focus on recurring resources from ritual summoning, right? So that you can basically recur the resources because it is so difficult to get out ritual summon monsters. How does this deck do this? Well, Slayer, when it is sent to the graveyard, will add a spell to the hand and send a Revendread to the graveyard. Now, sending a Revendread is really good because all of your ritual spells can also summon from the graveyard or the hand. So, anything that's in the graveyard, any ritual monster that's in the graveyard, can be summoned with any of your spells. Pretty good, right? Yes. And that's because it's a zombie-type archetype, right? So, Slayer sending something to the graveyard is pretty good, right? Because that would allow you to basically just summon it again due to one of your ritual spells, right? Executor, when it is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, what it will do is it will add any Revendread card to your hand. If you need a monster, add it to the hand. If you need a spell, add it to the hand, right? And if it's sent to the graveyard, that means it's in the graveyard, and you can use something like Origin or Evolution to return it to the field, right? By basically ritual summoning it, okay? Pretty good. Battlelord has a special effect. What it does is you can banish a Revendread monster from the graveyard to declare either monster, spell, or trap, and then your opponent cannot activate any cards or effects of that type. So, if they were to activate, or if you were to summon it and then activate the effect, or activate the effect and call traps, all of a sudden, all that back row that you guys, I know that you hate playing against, it's turned off. They can't play it. They can't activate it. Nothing. Pretty cool, right? So Battlelord is pretty good. He's not the core of the deck, so you could even drop him if you don't want to, or if you don't want to play him. But you can play him if you want to. Then obviously we got Sonic Bird, Search a Ritual spell, pretty good. Glow Up Bloom is also really good. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to add a level 5 or higher zombie-type monster from your deck to your hand. We're not playing Zombie World, otherwise the other effect would be pretty good, but you could just add a zombie-type monster. Pretty good, right? Now, Revenants and Hound Horde have similar effects. If they are on the field and then used as a tribute for a ritual summon, they give the monster this effect. For Revenants, it is you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls, banish it. For Hound Horde, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls, banish it. Pretty good, right? And it's quick effect speed, so you can do it on your opponent's turn as well. You can just banish all of their stuff. It's insane. These two are what you really want to be normal summoning, right? Origins is pretty standard. It's basically Machine Angel Ritual, but for Revendreads. So you can either summon from the hand or the graveyard, and you can either tribute from the hand or field, or you can banish zombie types from the graveyard. Pretty good, right? And then it can equal or exceed the level. And if a Revendread Slayer, which is this guy, as well as this guy while it's on the field, if a Revendread Slayer would be destroyed by anything, you can banish this card instead. Pretty good, right? So, you know, similar to Machine Angel Ritual or something like Dark Lord Tezcatlipoca. Very similar. Now, Evolution does have a downside. It will destroy the Ritual Summon monster at the end phase of the next turn, so do keep that in mind. But it is pretty useful to summon up your Slayer. But if you were to summon up your Executor, it's not as good because Executor is specifically by opponent's card effects. So do keep that in mind. That's why we're only playing 2. I don't like it as much, but you can run it at 3. Entirely up to you. If you wanted to take out Battle Lord, you could. If you wanted to take out Bloom, you could. Or you could take out both and play another Slayer and another Evolution. Entirely up to you. If you have more Slayer, definitely play him. Play him at 3. Okay? But also, what this card does is, again, from the hand or graveyard, you can Ritual Summon. Pretty cool. But you can also send a Revendread monster from the deck to the graveyard to either, for either the entirety of it, or to equal the level of the Ritual Summoned monster. So it does have to equal the level rather than exceed, so do keep that in mind, right? If you summon an Executor, you can either do a Revenant and a Sonic Bird, or just one Executor, right? So there you go. Then we have Revendread Knights. Discard a card, it's a field spell, but you can discard a card to add a monster to the hand, a ritual monster, right? Also, when a Revendread monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish a Revendread monster from the graveyard, and you can make a second attack on an opponent's monster in a row. So, you know, if your Revendread destroys a set monster, you can banish a Revendread and then swing into another monster. Pretty useful if it comes up, but overall it doesn't really come up a whole lot. The extra deck doesn't really matter. All of that doesn't matter. The only thing that will ever come up, most likely, is Black Rose Dragon. Just nuke the field with your Slayer and your Bloom, and then both of those effects will activate, and you will be able to add a bunch of cards to your hand. And then Vermilion Dragon Mech maybe will come up, but the thing is, like, then you wouldn't activate the effect of Glow Up Bloom. It's not great. Anyway, let me show you the second variant of the deck real quick, which is using... No. Here we go. Using the original Master of Rites. This one. This one. This one. Yes. Okay. So, this is the other variant of the deck. We use Cosmic Cyclone, and I'm playing 22 cards. I took out Battle Lord. Everything else is the same, but with the Cosmic Cyclone added in so that you can activate the effect of Master of Rites, which says when your life points decrease by 1,000, you return a card and then either add a random ritual monster or a random ritual spell. It can be used twice per duel, not once per turn. So do keep that in mind. If you Cosmic Cyclone, return, and then Cosmic Cyclone again, boom, now you've got you've got a ritual spell and a ritual monster. Pretty good, okay? So, there you go. Now, same thing, just with Cosmic Cyclone. If you don't like back row, play it this way. If you're having trouble with the back row, definitely play it this way. Cosmic Cyclone, I actually ended up doing better with the Cosmic Cyclone because of the fact that it was Cosmic Cyclone and I could hit some of the back row and play through less disruption, basically. So, let me show you how these decks performed. Alright guys, so here we are up against Seto Kaiba going second. And let's see what we draw into. Master of Rites 2 activates. And this is actually a pretty good grip. We got Knights and Bloom with double ritual spells. Pretty good. He's going to set a card. He's going to... We know for a fact that he's got the White Stone of Ancients in hand, so he most likely has something that will discard that as well. So we do have to keep that in mind. We're going to... We draw into the Executor. So we're just going to summon the Executor due to Evolution, sending from the deck. Summon up the Executor. We're going to activate Knights. Knight's effect is going to activate. He's going to fire off the Raigeki Break so that he can get the White Stone of Ancients in the graveyard for the end phase, so that he can summon up a Blue Eyes during the end phase. And then he's going to pop our Executor. Now, the Executor's effect is going to activate because an opponent popped our card. So, We're going to get Glow Up a Bloom. We're going to get Executor. Both effects are going to activate. We're going to search up the Revenant, and then we are going to search up another Executor. So now we have two Executors in the graveyard and a third in hand. We are going to normal summon the Revenant. We haven't normal summoned as of yet. Revenant is going to give us a huge, great, very good effect, and we're just going to summon up our Executor from the graveyard, actually, along with sending the Slayer to the graveyard. Now we have an Origins, we have a Slayer, we have a Revenant in the graveyard. Good to know. But Revenant's effect is pretty important here. So I'm going to turn on the toggle so that as soon as this thing is summoned, we can activate the effect that we get from Revenant. So we can banish, right? Because here's the thing. Dragon, Spirit of White, has a very important word. And that word is when. Which means, if I activate my effect on its summon, it does not get its first effect, which is, when it is summoned, target a spell or trap your opponent controls, banish it. Well, we went first, and so it misses timing. It doesn't get to activate, because it misses the timing. It's really weird, timing's weird, but I activated it first, so it doesn't get to banish any of our cards, and it's not going to be able to target us because of the Ritual Cage, and it's going to summon up another special summon monster, so during the opponent's turn, we could just banish it again, right? And he immediately realizes this and just surrenders. So, Revenant effect, pretty good. It's pretty good. Alright, here we are up against Leo. This time we are going first, and we, again, Master of Rites 2 this time. We've got a very similar grip to last time. We're going to Revendread Knights, send off the Bloom. Bloom's effect is going to activate to search up Slayer. We're also going to search up the Revenant. So we're going to normal summon the Revenant, then we are going to summon up the Executor, and that is what we're going to have on the field, because we can't really send the Revenant due to the effect of Evolution. Now, if it was Origins, it wouldn't matter, but there you go. Noble Knights are going off. This is what... Yeah, Noble Knights. There you go. He's going to Exi summon into the Artorigus, add to the hand. He's going to summon up the Gallatin, and he swings into the Executor, which is his first mistake. We're able to then get ourselves the Origin, which... you will see why that's very important in a second. He's going to normal summon, or he's going to special summon the Dristan. Doesn't matter. We're going to tribute off both the Hound Horde and the Revenants in order to allow our Slayer to not only banish a special summon monster, but banish banish a spell or trap as well. So we're going to banish the Dristan. We're going to banish the Gallatin. Then we're going to, during his turn, at the very start of it, we're going to banish his Artorigus, and then, yeah, he equips the Guinevere to the Madrot, and we're just going to banish that during his end phase as well. Then we are going to draw a card and just swing in, bada bing, bada boom. He's going to activate the Glory of the Noble Knights in order to summon to Dristan. Well, guess what? With Dristan's effect, he cannot target us because of Ritual Cage. Pretty good. Right? Can't target us. So instead, for some reason, I don't know why, but so many people will instead target your field spell rather than your, what is it? What's it called? Ritual Cage? For some reason, instead of targeting Ritual Cage, the thing that is preventing them from targeting your monster, they're going to target the field spell. I don't know why. People don't read these cards. If you like watching people struggle and read cards, play this deck. It's so funny. They have no idea what's going on. Anyway, let's hop into the next duel. Here we are against Axel Brody, which doesn't have any good skills at the moment. Going second. He sets a card. Well, he's going to pay for that, because we opened up pretty good. We're going to Executor and Revenants again. Then we're going to just summon up the Executor that we had in the graveyard so that it's protected and doesn't just immediately die. And then we're going to swing in for 3,000 damage. Now, he summons up a Blue Eyes, and also a card that has not been seen in Blue Eyes for quite some time, because they're mostly playing traps. A Snipe Hunter. Interesting. He's going to discard. He's going to miss. He's going to discard. He's going to hit. Well, we just protect with Origins. He's going to discard. He's going to miss. Then he's going to swing in. Revenants is going to come back. White Stone of the Ancients is going to activate to summon up another one. And he threw his phone out of the window. he realized he was doomed. He realized that he missed 2 times. He had a 66% chance to hit, and he missed 2 times. He only needed to hit 2 times, and he missed 2 times instead. How sad. We're going first this time, but it's again against an Axel Brody. Let it be known, if you are playing Axel Brody in ranked, don't. Just, he doesn't have a good deck at the moment. There's nothing really for him. Just don't, okay? It's fine. You can play him in duel. Don't play him in ranked. Play him in regular old PvP. Anyway, we open up knights. We're just gonna summon revenants. We opened up 2 knights. We can't really do anything. He's gonna set 3 cards. We're gonna activate knights again. We're gonna pitch off the knights because we drew in Origins, which is super pog. We're gonna set a card. Here's why we set the card. I knew he had something that he could activate, so I was pretty sure it was a Karma Cut. So we're gonna set our card so that he can't target it, so that we keep the Hound Horde on the field so that we can use it to ritual summon. So we ritual summon the Executor by sending the Hound Horde. Then, because we have the effect of Executor, we can banish more cards and more back row. He's going to activate his Ballista Squad, popping a card. We're going to protect with Origins. He's going to get a Sangin effect to summon up to add up the Volcanic Shell. And I don't know if you saw earlier, but he pitched an Alistair because he's kind of weird and playing Alistair still. I don't know about this one, mate. But that's fine. Revendread Knights is going to activate. We're going to get Bloom's effect as well in order to search up 2 monsters. But there's not really much else that we can do. We still have 3 ritual spells in the graveyard. He's going to activate his invocation that he ripped off the top, and we're just going to banish that and say no. And he surrenders. Yeah, just banish invocation, forehead. He can't get it back. He can't. It's not allowed. Now, before we get into this duel, this guy's name in Japanese is just It's just It's just A. It's 3 A sounds in a row. It's just So do keep that in mind while we're playing against a 4-card extra deck Zane Truesdale. Okay? Keep that in mind, okay? So we're gonna go Slayer into Slayer. Okay, pretty standard. We're going to normal summon, because guess what? He's got 3 set cards. How do you deal with 3 set cards? Well, you summon up this guy, and then he surrenders. Alright, here we are up against Astro Phoenix, going second this time. And here we go. Okay, so we've actually got a pretty good grip here. We've got Revendread Knights with the Bloom, as well as a Ritual spell, and a Ritual monster. What more could you ask for? And this guy is playing Geargia. Okay. Well, let's see how quickly we can put him out of his misery. We grab a Hound Horde. Well, doesn't really matter. We're going to pitch off the Bloom in order to grab up Revenant. Bloom's effect is going to activate to grab us the Slayer. We are going to normal summon the Revenant. We are going to activate Origin. We are going to send the Revenant and the Slayer to the graveyard in order to summon up the Executor. Then, Executor is going to activate the effect of Revenant to Banish and swing in for 3,000. He is going to activate Geargiana Mark II. He's going to special summon Mark III. We're going to banish that Mark III and say no. No special summoning here. He's going to special summon another thing, but its effects are negated, so it's going to try and tribute itself in order to summon up another thing, and then he's just going to swing in like a good man and commit honorable seppuku. So, overall, what are my thoughts on the deck? First of all, both Master of Rights is good. 1 and 2 are both good. It's entirely up to you. If you're playing against a lot of back row, play with the Cosmic Cyclone. If you find yourself playing it more against monster effects, then definitely play with 2. But I did end up seeing that a lot of times they would Cosmic Cyclone and then activate their effect because, like on turn 1, because of the effect of Cosmic Cyclone being able to banish something turn 1. So that was a little not fun, but it only came up a little bit. Yeah, both the decks are really fun. It's really interesting. It's a different style of zombie-type deck. And oftentimes with zombie-type decks, they will give effects to other cards by, like, sending them to the graveyard or banishing them or what have you. They'll give effects. So one card will give an effect to another card. And that happens in this, and a lot of people don't read the cards all the way and don't have a full understanding of Vendreads. And so they'll just kind of read the card partway and be like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden their monster gets banished and they're just like, wait, what just happened? I've done that so many times. Anyway, it's very fun to watch your opponent struggle and try and figure out what the heck is happening. So it's a really good rogue deck. I think that maybe if the meta's right, it could... I mean, with the rise of Noble Knights and the amount of people that are playing Noble Knights, maybe you do want to play this deck, because it does have a pretty good matchup against Noble Knights. It's not really good against things like Desperado or, you know, most of the other meta decks. It's got a good matchup against like Ritual Beasts with specifically the untargetability from monster effects. So there's that. I don't know. It's a good rogue. As I've said, it's a good rogue deck. It's not top tier as of yet. I think some of the other top tier decks would probably have to get hit in order for it to be really good. But it's just kind of missing a really good boss monster. Executor's okay, and it kind of has a pseudo floating effect. But it's not great. It doesn't have any sort of built-in protection. It doesn't really float into anything, like it doesn't summon up a Revendread from the grave or anything like that. So, it's only good. So do keep that in mind. It's only good, it's not great. But it is super fun. If you like ritual effects, if you like ritual decks, this one's definitely one to pick up. And with the power level of the meta kind of coming down due to Kokaitis and Shiranui both being hit very hard, it's a lot more fun. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy it. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more interesting decks like this, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.